Hello there, it's VG247's Deputy Editor Dave Cook here, reporting live from Morrowind. Well, it's the Elder Scrolls Online's rendition of Morrowind, which is currently under attack by a group called the Covenant. Now, right now in this, like what you see here is my Nord warrior is at level 6, and the game actually starts off in Oblivion before moving on to Skyrim, and I think it's a really good way of getting people who enjoyed Skyrim, you know, perhaps it was their first experience of the Elder Scrolls series, that's a really good way of easing them into the world. And it's very familiar, you know, it's all snowy, you know, there's like wildlife running around, there's loads of like crypts and tombs and little villages to explore, and it does a good job of sort of showing you the ropes, as it were. Although I have to admit, there was a lot of things that I didn't quite grasp at first. Simple things like equipping quick slots and, you know, where all the different kind of shops are, what all the different symbols mean. Because I play Skyrim quite a lot, I kind of know these things already. A lot of it is the same. As you can see, the HUD looks quite similar. But if you were a newcomer, you might have had a little bit more trouble. But anyway, this quest is basically to repel the Covenant forces from the city's main wall. And you basically have to do that by destroying loads of their armour, the ballista rockets and stuff like that. So here's a bit of the map, and this is like just one city. So far I've uncovered quite a lot of Morrowind, and it's important to point out, in case you weren't aware, that these these parts of Tamriel aren't actually modelled on games like Morrowind or Oblivion. They're kind of new takes on them, if you will. For example, the Skyrim part of the game isn't actually set in the Skyrim you saw in the full game. It's actually like a little island off the coast. So anyway, as you can see, you've got your sort of typical first-person combat, which pretty much operates the same way as it did in Skyrim and other Elder Scrolls games, except now there's a few new sort of defensive attacks, and it's just special things to sort of switch up the mechanic. For example, if you see like an enemy about to do a power attack, you can block it, and that will put them into a stun state, so you can sort of follow up with loads of punishment, like a big knockdown blow, stuff like that. And there's also some sort of unblockable attacks, like for example spells get kind of burned through shields anyway, so you're always going to take damage. But if you click like both mouse buttons at the same time, you can like shield bash and like interrupt the move, and follow up from there. So here we go. I don't know who that guy's fighting. Oh, that guy. He just phased into the world. And as you can see, it's got that sort of typical hack and slash kind of combat. You can search the body, take all the gold, and just find loads of loot. So here's another guy. But one thing I've noticed is that guy totally didn't notice me there. And while you can sort of crouch to do stealth like you could in the old games, you get the little eye icon that opens the more you're spotted. That's still in here. You can use stealth as a legitimate tactic, but I actually find it quite easy to walk around enemies in this game. Like they don't notice you until you get pretty close. And when they do notice you, you'll see like a little red circle appear above their head, like that guy there on the right, and then you can bash away. So the moves I've got here, like there's certain, because I'm a Nord, there's certain different like skill trees almost, like that you can use per race, and then there's also like certain ability trees per class as well. So I'm a Nord Dragon Knight, and Dragon Knights come with a lot of flame-based attacks, while Nords have like their that bloodline has their own skills. So, that first one there was like the fire whip thing that you can sort of drag enemies into the battle. I also have like a couple of knockdown blows, like melee blows and stuff like that. And those skills kind of level up the same way that skills do in other Elder Scrolls games, I guess. I mean, you sort of learn by doing. The more that you use like a shield and single-handed weapon like this, my single-handed will, that stat will go up. And once you actually level up one of your hotbar skills to level 5, I believe it's level 5 or 4 perhaps, you can actually morph it. So you can spend an attribute point on one of your skills and you can turn it into something else. So that flame whip that I've got, for example, once it reaches level 5, I think, if I recall correctly, you can also add like a stun status on it as well. Just little things like that. So your tree of skills is actually pretty big in this. Yeah, there's another. See, she totally didn't see me for ages, you know. Yeah, I tried to block that move there. That would have stunned her. You know, you see those white lines above their head. That means that if you block that move, you'll stun them. But the window to do that is really small. So here's a quick look at, you know, my skill tree. As you can see, there was quite a lot there, and the inventory as well. You basically can carry up to 50 items. You may recall that in Skyrim it was a weight-based system, so you know everything in your inventory had a weight stat, I guess, and you can only carry so much before you become over encumbered. That doesn't happen in this game. So you start with 50 slots, and you can carry like, you know, loads of heavy stuff if you want, loads of light stuff. As long as you've got 50, that's fine. You know, there's no weight. And you don't. It doesn't do that annoying thing where you get slowed to a crawl when you've got too much. Like you can still walk around like this. But one thing I noticed actually, you can actually buy new backpacks at stores. So you can. I've actually got 60 slots now, and I think it was about 400 gold to get a new backpack with like 10 extra slots. That's not too bad. I mean, money's quite easy to come by if you do a lot of quests, and there's no shortage of like side quests to do. You know, you get 1 gold per like enemy you defeat. That's pretty rubbish, but the payout for actual quests isn't too bad. But so far, there's been no quests that you can sort of infinitely do. And what I mean by that is, in Skyrim, there were certain things where, you know, if you found, I don't know, just for argument's sake, you found, I don't know, bear pelts, and this particular NPC wanted bear pelts. You know, you could just keep on going back to them and farm money. I haven't come across anything like that yet. My guess is that you know, that would encourage people to grind it too much and maybe, you know, give people a sort of economic advantage over the rest of the pack unfairly. But you know, I don't know. I'm still only level 6. I've been playing this for a good few hours now. I think I'm about just over 5 hours in. But I've been doing everything. You know, I haven't just been focusing on leveling up. I've been exploring, looking for secrets, finding runes, and loads of other things. One thing I'll say, like that classic Skyrim sort of Elder Scrolls thing of you know that radar bar at the top of the screen, all those little markers. You'll want to try and find everything that pops up on that. You know, just to mark locations on the map, and that's still really addictive. Love that guy's eye patch. It's totally got a snake thing going on there. Anyway, so yes, you can you can totally find loads of secrets out in the world. You'll actually find things called sky shards as well. These are like big glowing crystals. And if you collect 3, you get a bonus attribute point. And there's like a few of them hidden in really like fiendish places. You have to look quite hard. Thankfully though, they send like a beam of light into the sky, so once you're near one, you can kind of see it. So that's good. So you don't necessarily have to be doing loads of missions to level up. If you find these, oh, that guy was stunned there. I don't know how I did that. And it's important to note that person fighting with me is just like an NPC, but you can fight pretty much in multiplayer in this, you know, PvE. Yeah, and you can do that without even grouping. It's a bit like Guild Wars in that regard. You know, if you see someone in the road who's fighting, you can just go along and sort of chip in, like help them out by taking down the enemy, and you'll all get a share in the spoils. You know, you'll all get the loot and stuff. So there's no like kill stealing or anything like that. I have to admit as well that you know, we've been advised that these servers right now, because it's just a press beta, there's not that many people on the server, but that's just because like it's just the press that's playing. So I can imagine there being a lot more people around about once the game goes live. And there's tons of these crypts as well. Tons of them, and it's not like, you know, they're not as copy pasted as they were in Skyrim, and there's not, I'd say there's not that many quests in them. They're more for like sort of searching around. You know, you can look in urns, try and get loads of money, and that is quite addictive. You know, if you're a Diablo fan or you just like grinding loot, raiding places, you know, you'll get a bit of a kick out of it. But I don't want to just do that because that's boring. So let's go and fight some guys. All right. I gotta say as well, like these are just 2 enemies, but the game is getting quite hard at this point. Like again, I'm just about to level up to level 7, and I don't know if you saw it there as well. I pressed number 2 there on my hotbar. That's like a sort of thick skin move. Oh bugger! Okay, I died. So number 2 in my hotbar is like a sort of like you sort of make this big like spiky armor appear on your back, and that sort of gives you a temporary defense boost. That's really useful, but it's getting to the point now where I either need to really grind to level up, or I got a group with people. Like me and Brenna were talking about this, on Skype earlier in the week, and yeah, you really need to sort of level up or get banded up with friends. Unfortunately, because again, there's not that many press walking around, it's kind of hard to group up. But it'd be interesting to see like how a big team of 4 or whatever could accomplish in the field. I reckon it'd make for some pretty cool battles. So far, it's pretty much been these little foot soldiers. There's the sort of wolves, and there's nothing massive. There's been no. I don't even know if dragons are in this game, but we certainly haven't seen any yet. There's nothing like the giants or the trolls. I'm sure they're in there, but I think it is just easing us in slowly. I think the hardest enemies I've been fighting so far are like these undead, like ghost spirit, like ghost warrior things, and they're quite tough because they gang up on you in numbers. And yeah, I don't know. It feels like it feels like an Elder Scrolls game. The music's there. Everything else is there. It just feels like it's part of the series, and I think that's quite a good thing. I haven't seen enough to sort of that suggests it's really an MMO so far. It feels more like a single player that has, co-op multiplayer if you want it. So I don't quite see, and we're going to be doing, PvP and other things in other. Oh God, what's this? Oh no, that's really getting in the way of everything. Get away! Go! Stop! Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll be doing competitive stuff later on. I'm sure we'll do more updates and blogs and things, but for now it's just single player we're looking at. Oh, sod. Alright. Well, it's probably a good place to end it. But yeah, so just wiggle the mouse a little bit there. So this has been the Elder Scrolls Online, and I've been Dave Cook for VG247, and yeah, we'll have more stuff on the game soon. Thanks for watching.